So now I've been working alongside people experiencing homelessness in Toronto for about 20 years. I've walked into shelters countless times, convinced that I knew what people needed. And as we set up that room, I reviewed my agenda in my head. I would do the overview, we would do introductions, I would talk about some housing policy advocacy that we could do, and I would gather stories from the residents that we needed. Got it. I was ready. So about 25 men gathered for that first meeting there, curious to know what we were doing. We sat in a circle and I framed the plan for the conversation and assumed that everyone would speak to the issue we had on our agenda. But first, I suggested we start by sharing our names and something that mattered to us right now. So I turned to my left. First man goes, "Hi, my name is Keith," he said, "and what matters to me? Well, to be completely honest, we don't have shower curtains. That's what matters to me today." Okay, I thought, that's interesting. Okay, who's next? "Hi, my name is Edward. Actually, I agree with Keith. We need shower curtains. I avoid showering here. I feel dirty, and this makes it hard to feel confident. I can't get a job or do anything." And then another and another and another. Almost every man in that circle echoed the sentiment about the shower curtain. And by the end of the circle, it was crystal clear that this was the issue we needed to organize around. They needed shower curtains. We spent the rest of the meeting sharing about why shower curtains mattered. We wrote a letter together, illustrating people's experiences and the impact of this indignity. We sent it off to the leadership and requested a meeting. We rehearsed who would speak and what each person would say at that meeting. And in a few weeks, had that meeting, and we won. The shelter agreed to install shower curtains. Now, this might sound small, but it wasn't. For people in that room today, it awakened us. This story has become somewhat of a gospel for me in this season of my life. A reminder that no matter how much experience I carry, I do not get to decide what matters most for someone else. Power is built only when people with lived experience, with people's lived experiences are centered. Because the truth is, people who are poor are rarely trusted. Programs are built for them. Decisions are made about them. Even the best charity efforts can unintentionally repeat the same dynamics where agency is stripped away and dignity is conditional. And Jesus had a lot to say about this. And today we heard one of those stories of Bartimaeus. He's blind and poor. His needs seem obvious. Everyone around him assumes that they already know what he needs. But when Bartimaeus cries out, Jesus stops, he calls him by name, and he asks a question that feels almost unnecessary. "What do you want me to do for you?" That question changes everything. Because Jesus does not assume. He does not rush to fix. He does not decide for Bartimaeus what he needs just by looking at him. Instead, he hands that power back to him. Disability theologians like John Swinton point out how radical this is. In a world where poor and disabled people were expected to be silent and maybe grateful, Jesus asks a question that returns his agency. Before Bartimaeus is healed, he's dignified. Before he receives sight, he's named and he's heard. Jesus doesn't treat him as a problem to be solved. He treats him as a person with a will, a desire, and a future. And then, after he receives his sight, Bartimaeus joins the community. He finds healing from that isolation he's experiencing as well. Healing isn't just personal in this story, it's also social and communal. Now, for those of us working often in helping spaces, it's good to remember that Jesus didn't come to start a nonprofit. He didn't come to manage need from a safe distance. He came to collapse the distance between people, to create a community where power, dignity, and belonging are truly shared.